The AMA section is started. Welcoming Dan, Debo, or Danny Man. Nice having you in here today. I mean, the last section we had with you was great. And yeah, we are having you on the Natural Gems community. I'm happy to have you here. So, for us to properly get into the project, these guys here don't know you that much. Could you kindly give us a brief of introduction about your project? I mean, give us a bit more insights of the project. I mean, before that, you've got to give us a bit more introduction about yourself, and then we head over the project's insights. Yeah.
Sounds good. I'll try to talk quickly too. Um, I'm older than a lot of the guys in crypto. I am a traditional finance guy. My big claim to fame is, as I said last time, writing the insights and strategies for Merrill Lynch. I was senior editor and writer for about 4 years, largest circulated financial newsletter in print in the world at the time. But I've done other huge projects, but that was like the biggest in the world. So that's cool. I was around the internet boom and bust. Jeb Bush, we signed the Florida technology bill in our office, did a lot of stuff for state of Florida, Credit Suisse versus Boston, Texaco, lots of stuff, lots of financial stuff too. I've written economic forecasts for Citibank, Schwab. Uh, I mean, dozens. So enough of that. So that's my background. I definitely understand finance. I'm not a trading pro by any stretch. It's more macro conditions, forecasting what's going on with politics and how it goes to effective investments, et cetera. So that's that. I retired quite a long time ago, not a long time ago, but very young and semi-retired because I still own a business, but basically I don't run it. I just oversee it. And I got into crypto in 2017. Enjoyed it a lot, learned a lot, did pretty, okay. And then I got into the Richard Hart Hex thing, like we talked about last time, and I did very well on that. Um, that's what kind of got me through the bear because it was like, wow, whatever. I was very into that community. I didn't do any projects or anything. I always saw myself as a background player. I'd go to all the live things. People have been to my house for parties. I've been to the meetups in Vegas. I went to the Nashville Bitcoin show. We had private parties, all sorts of cool stuff. I would always do the fun stuff. Um, uh, but the state of crypto the last couple years has really been alarming to me. I just see the constant, and it's funny because I'm putting more memes, we've got a couple meme coins, basically shit coins, as people would say. And, I'm adding to the problem, so to speak, because there's way too much dilution. There's just way too much, um, and it's unsustainable. But my thoughts are the ones who do it right, the ones who, don't go for just, like if you're looking for 100x in a week, we're probably not for you. I'm just not a liar. I don't, I'm not one of those guys, and I never will be, and I don't have to be. But if you want something where you tuck away a little bit for a while and then come back every now and then and you're pleased and you sell some of it or buy more or whatever you want to do, that's great. You're probably good with us. I did a lot of fiction writing back in the day, and that's going to come into play. And that's more for kind of my enjoyment, but but I have all this material from very famous artists who have done Hulk and Spider-Man and Superman and all that kind of stuff. I did a few comics way back, and I own the rights to a bunch of stories and art. And now I'm running it all through AI and kind of repurposing it. And we're going to do the whole NFT thing and tie that together. I'd like to tie some utility there where um, X amount of whatever gas coin is attached to the thing. And then there's that intrinsic value. And then whatever the collectible value may be is on top of that. Um, and that's basically the Tawa more than the Andre. The Tala is a character in a story that I've had published probably 3 or 4 times, graphic novels, and probably a couple hundred stores. Nothing huge, but good. Solid performer. The artist is super famous, and again, I'm just taking his stuff and running it through AI, and he's probably going to do a couple more things for me. But having a little fun, tying it all together. And the way I look at the meme coins, especially on Sonic, Sonic is a great chain. It's got so many good dexes, so many good, Aves on there, and it's not forks, it's the actual companies. USDC it's not just going to be a bridged in version, but it's going to be USDC, et cetera. But they don't have a lot of users. And I kind of picked that because I'm hoping to use that as use it as a thing to, springboard off of. So I definitely need Sonic to do well. It hasn't been doing that great, and we've been doing pretty well. But in the end, if it does well, we should do very well, almost like a leveraged play on it. And yeah, so that's the quick overview, even though I was rambling.
No, you did a great one, a great job in the speech as well as intro. So thank you for that one. These being the Andre on the Sonic chain. Can you please take us through some information on how the Sonic chain system trading works and also enlighten the holders, the investors here on how they could trade? I mean, if you could do that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Sonic is basically, like all the other Ethereum type chains. They do have their own bridge, and it's super easy. You can bridge in Ethereum. Well, I should mention this too, because a lot of people get confused with this. Everyone probably, or most people probably remember Phantom. Does that ring a bell? Phantom. That's originally what it was. It's not just a rebrand though. The tech has been redone. It's definitely, if it's not the fastest and cheapest chain, it's among the top couple. Um, Andre Crone he's the developer guy. He's not my style of personality. He's kind of curmudgeony, but I respect everything he's done, or at least a lot of the stuff he's done. Um, I think he's a good one to hitch your wagon to, so to speak, and that's why I picked it. And I might do other chains as well. But when it comes to Sonic, if you have an ETH wallet, you have a Sonic wallet, right? If you have MetaMask or whatever, you can just put in the RPC settings, easy enough. Put in the tokens. It doesn't automatically upload tokens, so you got to put the token address in the respective wallets, and you can trade on your ETH wallet or whatever. So it's fairly easy in that regard. The bridge is pretty good. I've used it many, many times. I've only bridged in, not out so far. I just keep putting more money in. Super easy, super fast. I mean, really good. And then once you're on the chain, it's super, super cheap to transact. I mean, a Sonic is about 50 cents, and S would be your equivalent of ETH, your ticker, the gas token. If you have like 3S, you can probably, I don't even know, transact 50, 100 times, I don't know. So $1.50 and you can do, I don't even pay attention because it's so, so cheap. A couple cents for something real big, fractions of cents for, swaps. It's super, super, super cheap. There's, and this goes back to we have like more dexes on Sonic that are pretty good than we probably have strong, good, strong memes right now. So I'm like, well, who's going to be trading what on all these dexes if there's nothing really going on? So that's the thing with Sonic. All the infrastructure is there. It's kind of like one of those Chinese cities and all of that, and not enough people. You know, it's it's um it's all built, and now we need to start pulling people over. So I think that's what you'll see next. Is that okay, or do you guys have any questions on that?
I mean, for more like an open explanation of how it works, and that's okay by me. I don't know. Maybe probably the rest of them get to touch more on their questions if they do have any later on the section. But for me, I think that's
Yeah.
okay. Okay, kindly take us through a bit more information about the tokenomics of the project.
Yeah. We don't we don't have a specific roadmap of things we're going to do because I'm really, I learned this through my financial career. Things change radically. And as we've seen with Trump becoming president with tariffs, he can just say a word or a sentence and it literally changes the markets, right? And so you got to be pretty elastic. I don't want to be too set in my ways of, yes, this is what we're going to do this, month and then next month and the next. I'm like, look, we're going to ascertain the situation and plan accordingly. However, you do need, a guideline. And what we are doing is tying the Tala back to NFTs and art. And that's, I'm taking my time with that and I'm just getting it going. I might even do like print things and sign things from some of these famous guys. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But they're going to basically just be good memes, strong sub communities. We've got like 600 and I don't even know, 50 people in the Telegram group after just a couple weeks, and we booted a lot of people who were just crazy people. I don't even do that. I'm telling you guys. I'm like, you guys handle that. That's just not my thing. I'll go in and have some fun, but yeah, we're getting a lot more people and a lot further faster in this market than I thought we would. So we just want to be ready also for the good times if and when they come. I'm thinking it's obviously going to get better when some of this macro, and me being a macro guy, I pay close attention to it. And I've been good at calling stuff. All the bulls have been, oh, this is the bottom, this, and I've been for the last few years. I'm like, you guys don't like what I say all the time, but I'm the one who's been right. So, there is that. I'm being cautious. I don't think there's anything that special, like tokenomics wise, about what we're doing. It's going to be more community and dare I say it, but I am going to watch the charts. I don't want pump and dumps. I'm not interested in a bunch of you guys buying stuff and then me selling a bunch on you. That's not, and I know everyone probably says that, but our chart, I want to go through time and literally show people, not tell them. Where it's like, well, where did you see a huge, who got dumped on and who lost money? I mean, it's trading and traders are going to gain and lose money, but I don't want the majority of people to be in the red, which is what I've seen in crypto the last couple of years. I've done pretty well, but I'm also cautious and I have a financial background and I kind of can smell the BS sometimes. So not all of it, but some of it.
Nice. So, can you tell us a bit more about what actually encouraged you to go into the Sonic chain? I guess this is more of the questions concern the investors are having. I mean, most of them are like, why didn't he go with the Soul chain? Why didn't he go with the ETH
Yes.
and all that? So,
Yep.
what was the
Good.
motivation?
Those are good questions too, because I've thought about it myself, and I might go over to some of them, but I would do it after I built this to where I'm happy. Um, we're a tiny fish, right? And if we were on one of those others, we'd be a tiny, tiny fish in an extremely large ocean. Well, right now we're like more like a smaller fish in a smaller pond, so we can get noticed. And I think that was part of it. But I wanted to do it on Pulse Chain, which was Richard Hart's thing, because I did do very well with Hex. And I knew Richard before Hex a little bit. We corresponded because of my financial background and what he was doing with, like, Hex is basically a DeFi CD online, you could say, to simplify it. But he's just kind of made a whole mess of the thing with all of his antics and whatnot. And recently the SEC dropped their case against him. Blah blah blah. There's some good news out there. There's great people, great builders on his chain, but I just thought the headwinds were too much. And then when I discovered Sonic, it was kind of like, oh, this is what I thought Pulse Chain would be, like a new L1 with good tech. It ended up where he was just copying ETH and not updating it. To me, it's a cheaper imitation, whereas Sonic is better and faster, and it is. If you guys play on it, you're going to see what I'm saying. It's I've never been on a chain that has been as like swap everything just fast. Once in a while, something will hang, but I mean and by hang, I mean 20 seconds. Not, it's nearly immediate. And I like that, you know. And you know how it is too when you're trying to do something quick and you're busy and you're trying to make a trade or move money or whatever. You don't want to be dealing with a 2 hour lag or a 20-minute lag. So those are the basically I'd say two reasons. The tech that I found really worked well, and the being a little bigger fish in a lot smaller ocean. I'd say those are the two main reasons I went with Sonic.
Nice. Can you hear me, brother? Hello? Are you there?
Yep, yep.
Okay, okay. I thought I was cutting off a bit, but yeah, thank you for that great insight. Another question I do have in mind is in terms of building the project, it's a kind of stage by stage process. So I wanted to know, I couldn't find your website, so I was wondering if you've got a structure, uh, let's say a structure which has a quarter one of the 2025, or quarter two of the 2025, or quarter three, and the quarter four of 2025, which you would be having some improvements added to the project, or some new updates to the project.
Yeah, I don't have anything published now. I'm kind of running, and I don't even have a website. It's not like I can't afford one or anything. But like I said, right now I feel so fractional because there's one of me and a bunch of other people, and it's like literally 100 messages a day. And I have a life outside of this too, which I mean, I'm working on this hard, but my wife needs to eat dinner and stuff. So uh, I probably will start putting together more of a roadmappy thing, but again, I'm like right now, I don't want to just say a bunch of BS. I don't want to say we're going to do this and we're going to do this, and then the market's awful, or the market takes off, and wow, we can't keep up with this. How are we going to do that? So I'm keeping it kind of elastic right now. My biggest thing is honestly and some of you may understand what I'm saying here, and some of you may not. But I'm doing a lot of liquidity pairing games, and that's getting the eyes. Honestly, that's better than the community stuff. It's I think the vast amount of people actually buying, the communities are fun and they're nice and it's cool to have them, and it gets, there's reach there. But when you pair up with certain other things in liquidity and you bond it, even if it's temporary, you get people seeing it from those communities and they look at the chart and say, oh, yeah, crap, this is pretty good. And I've noticed that's where I get the best bumps. So I I want to stay a little elastic, but you are right that I should have some kind of updates. Um, this has all gone pretty fast. We've only been in it a couple months, so I had no idea how slow or quick or whatever. It's gone a lot better than I thought it would to this point. I mean, not like we're some huge thing, but you know what I mean. It's for just kind of getting it going and blah, blah, blah. I'm very happy. So yeah, I think, and I might get a website. I don't know. It's just like I said, I don't even use the Discord, and we got Discord. I don't even know what those guys are saying. That's another thing. I got to be kind of careful because I'm pretty doxxed. I'm not like one of these guys who's hiding. I run real businesses and whatnot, and I've got to maintain a certain, you know, ethics, et cetera. I'm not going to pump and dump because I'm not going to get sued. I've run a business for 25 years and I've never been in a lawsuit. And it's a business with a lot of money rolling through it, people's money. So, you know, that's hard to do. And you do that by being ethical. So that, you know, um, I don't want to overpromise. I just want to work and like I said, get that chart moving up and to the right consistently. And I think we've done a great job of that, being that the market's been so terrible, right? You know, it's not been great. I mean, we have probably the best chart on Sonic. Goggles is another great meme that we kind of aspire to be like. I saw they went up almost 40% yesterday, but of course today it's retracing, which is going to happen. But it doesn't seem to be retracing a lot. Like I want to be like them, you could say, you know. And if we are, that's a lot of growth. You know, I think that's probably a 10x from where we're at.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there would be some improvement on the chart as it is. We've got an upcoming competition as well, which the banner and all is not yet ready. So when everything is set, we get that going as well. So
Yep.
I'm
We've done a
getting
lot of contests. We've
yeah,
given away a lot of tokens. And it's funny because you know how it is. Some people just dump them, but some people keep them. And I just tell them, if you're going to dump a half or two-thirds, keep some of it because look at the chart.
exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
look at the chart.
because you never know when the token could get a massive bump and your 1K bag becomes let's say 20K. I mean that's a kind of a big support to your life. I mean, imagine
Exactly. You got
your
it.
1K and getting it just waiting out to see a 20K. I mean, that's massive, bro. You've
Yeah,
gotta. It's better than just throwing away the potentials of the token and all. So
exactly.
another
Another thing
question.
I notice is everyone goes nuts at the beginning, right? They all go crazy and it goes
True.
way up, but then you just see it plummet. And the thing is they either take the money out and extract it and then they're afraid to put it back in or something. Whereas with me, I'm just kind of slowly but surely adding to it on my part of it. I don't need to extract anything. Like if this all went away, it really wouldn't mean much to me, to be honest. It's like I'm not rich, right? I'm not trying to say that because I'm not, but I'm, you know, very well set in life, and I'm happy with my life. So it's not like, you know, I'm not needing 1,000x. Hey, if it does 100x in 2 years, I'm going to be super happy. Obviously, I'll give most of it away probably to, you know, beneficiaries sort of thing. But you know, at the same time, I'm also not going to screw anybody. So, you know, I mean, and I think in crypto right now, that to me, that's the only reason I did this. I'm telling you, I got so sick of seeing the pump and dumps that I was like, well, I'm all talk here. Let me see if I can actually do it, you know, kind of put my money where my mouth is. And that's what I'm doing.
Nice. Okay, another aspect of the project I wanted to touch on is in terms of the team. How do you manage your team? How do you
Not very
manage?
well. Not very
Are there
well. That's something I'm not great at. I've got a guy who's in the socials, and he's kind of running. He's great, and then I've got probably three more that tell me things. You know what we should do, what we should, you know. And I listen to everybody. I make the decisions, kind of, but I'm very much a listener, and I don't pretend to. I'm an expert at certain things, and I know a lot of things, but I certainly don't know everything. And you know, I rely on some people. We probably have, I would say, 10 to 12 people that are they're not even invested nearly as much as they probably will in the end, or even soon, or whatever. Because I keep telling them, just chill. You know, I'd rather see you guys slowly do this, just like me. You know, so we can keep that moving. It's almost like a bunch of central bankers. I know that's not a popular thing in crypto, but the fact is, again, if you have people who have money who are just parking it or playing liquidity games or whatever, it usually is a lot better than people who, the extractors. And I've just watched crypto turn into this immediate extraction game, and it's hurting it bad. It's not good.
Hmm. Uh, well, things like this happen sometimes, and I mean, team management is one of the things that actually gets difficult a bit in the project because the way you determine who is good for a position or who is not good for a position is kind of a skillful. You've got to be skillful in that because without being skillful, you might make the wrong choices of partners, and this might actually endanger the
Yeah.
token because
Yeah, you're so right. And this is the thing, even someone like you, I have to be a little suspicious because you're just the 50th guy who got with me that day. You know what I
mm,
mean? And it's
mm,
like they all say the same thing. I'm good. I'm not one of them. Of course, that's what
true,
they're going to say. So I'm
true.
a little sometimes jerkier than I like to be with some because, and I get that they need to make a living. So they're kind of hard selling. But some of them are really, really hard. And it's like, guys, I've done business a long time and I've learned if you really are strong arming me, I
Mm,
probably don't want it. I like I said, I've run a very successful business and I've had those calls, not like this. This is a whole new level of
mm,
just I knew they'd be there, right? But I mean, we're talking about hundreds in like, a couple months, hundreds, not dozens. It,
mm,
it's and this is what I'm saying. It's so fractionalized. I'm like, why don't you guys all get together? And yeah, like five of you are in charge of a super group, not all these little tiny things. There's just too much. It's dilution. I have written about industry dilution in many industries, but and I watched the web thing, 2000 thing. I was literally supposed to be in the Twin Towers
mm,
the week they went down. The sales guy who sold the writing job, it was Morgan Stanley, 110th floor of the towers. He was supposed to be there that day, but his daughter had one of those, whatever it's, what is it, bat mitzvahs, and he stayed home. And that was kind of the nail in the coffin for that, for the web thing. It all, it was going to crash anyway. But with crypto, it's way worse. I mean, there's just so much dilution. You can't, people will keep talking about old cycles. It's like,
mm,
well, Bitcoin did this and Ethereum did this and Phantom did this and ADA did this in 2015, but there was like 8 million less coins. Like 8 million, not
mhm,
800 or 8,000, 8 million. I mean, the numbers are staggering. The
mm,
vast majority of them are going away, and you see it. They come and go in days, Well, they don't go. They're on the blockchain forever, but there's no liquidity. They're just the waste. And, I don't want to be that.
mm.
And I know I don't have to be because, again, the way I'm doing it, it won't do that. It might not be a staggering success, but it's certainly not going to be a staggering failure. And so
Yep,
far, it's been better than I hoped.
sounds cool. Okay, another aspect of the project is in terms of you got docs, and also where did you get an audit of the project done? Was it through Block or Pincel or Jempad? I mean, could you tell us a bit more about that? How you went about that?
I'm sorry, when about what? I didn't hear.
I mean, your audit of the project. I guess.
Oh, audits? Yeah.
Yeah.
We went through Sonic X, it's Sonic with an X swap and Sonic X Fund. It's basically one of those prep coin factory things, but they have strong audits. So they were audited, they run it through an audit, and then I did some Certec thing, something else. I have it posted like pinned in our Telegram. There's been like, I want to say four. One is much more complete than the others. And the other ones are quick. Everything looks good. I am not the most technical person. I have a grasp of it. I mean, I have a good grasp of the financial aspects, the liquidity pairs, the bonding, all of that, but not the actual coding. So I ran it through a couple things, like I said, and everything's like checking out. You know, I've got, and I can supply that to anybody.
Hmm. Cool. I mean, so something else I think these guys do ask a lot is in terms of your partners. Do you have plans as to working with partners outside the Telegram box? I mean, partners that are actually crypto users, crypto devs, and these guys
Yeah.
might maybe having a reward asset, something that could come.
Yes.
Thank you guys for being part of the first section, listeners. The second part of this would be released pretty soon.